Welcome to Chasing Tangents, where the best conversations are the ones we never saw coming.
We are Staci and Renee. Grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's chase some tangents together. Let's see.
I love it. How's it going, Staci?
Um, it's going. I am now sitting on my floor in the basement because I lost my computer table. I sold it. So now I'm sitting, but I've decided, since you have loved this chair and called it my Sound of Music chair, it's going to be my podcast chair. So I'm taking this chair to Austin. We've decided to rent a big U-Haul. We weren't going to do that. We were going to just get a van. We're getting a big U-Haul. We're taking beds. I had put my recliner, my favorite recliner that we just got, it's like barely used, on Marketplace for $300. And I was just like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And somebody commented, like, in the open forum, which I'm like, if you're going to, don't, like, $300 for a used recliner. What is it? And I was like, what's wrong with you? And not asking for it, like not saying, is it available? Can I have it? Will you take this much? No,
just being nasty.
She was just commenting and being so mean. And I was like, I love this recliner. You know what? I'm taking it off. We're getting it. That was my pivotal moment of taking it off. I'm going to get the U-Haul. We're taking some of our favorite things, and I'm not selling those favorite things. And I'm gonna take the beds, and because I sold the bedroom set, and Jerry goes, I love those nightstands. I'm like, unsold it.
Taking it.
We're taking them. And so that was kind of a pivotal. I don't know what day it was last week, but it was like Thursday or Friday, and I just was like, we're doing it. We're taking it.
My favorite thing at night is to come home and sit in my recliner. I think I don't care if that makes me, middle class, whatever. I don't care. But who cares? Fraser isn't in the building, so we don't have to worry about that.
We're gonna set it up at the new house like Edith and Archie.
That's how Mark and I are. Yeah, we do that. We have our huge screen TV, which is so funny, huge one. And we have ours facing it. Yeah. And that is our favorite thing, no matter what time I get home, whether it's 10 o'clock at night or it's 6. I go jammy up. I get in my jammies and I sit in my chair before I go to bed.
Yeah.
And I have no problem admitting that those nights I'm just absolutely an unrelenting homebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unapologetic.
For sure.
Yep.
And just
so speaking of chairs, what is that behind you?
Okay. Sorry, just move that in. Okay. So this, let me just move this just a
It's
little.
very unique. I know what it is. I think I know what it is.
So when I was a little girl, growing up on the farm, we lived on a farm, and this farm had an old chicken coop. No animals on the farm. We were just living there. We were renting the house, and all of the barns and stuff didn't have animals. But this chicken coop we made into a playhouse, because when we got there, it had this row of old-fashioned desks in it.
So that's that's like an old schoolroom, one house schoolroom.
Yep, and it was actually 4 of them connected.
Oh. Yeah.
So when my mom and dad, when they put the highway through our property and they had to move, the state bought them out, even though they were renters. So it was a great deal. My mom took this thing and asked one of their friends, hey, can you separate one of them and make it nice? Because it was in the playhouse and we played with it all, but it wasn't, it wasn't like this beautiful color. It wasn't stained, and it wasn't, it was just there.
It was probably in its original condition.
Yeah. So he cut them apart, just kept one. And he was like, if I do this, I'll do it for free if I can keep one. If I can keep the other. My mom was like, great. Made this beautiful little desk.
It's gorgeous.
So I've always had little stuffed animals, my teddy bear and my stuffed animals on it. Well, I'm like, I'm taking it.
I love that.
I'm
I love
taking it
that.
to Austin. I'm going to put it up in the guest bedroom and for where Selma's going to have all of her toys, and I'm going to let her play and do it. But
Oh, she's gonna love that.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
my demo.
Speaking
Yeah.
of stuffed animals, I have one stuffed animal. That's mine.
Okay.
And
What is it?
okay, so I love elephants. I just feel like they are these huge, gentle, amazing creatures. Like
They
I
are.
really want
Yeah.
to go on safari just so I can see elephants in the
Me
wild.
too. I want to go on safari.
Yes,
Does
yes.
Mark
Okay,
want to?
that's gonna be road trip, next road
Yeah.
trip.
Does Mark want to go?
I don't know. I think he would be game. Haha. But yes.
Aha.
But yeah, I think he would be. Yeah, he would be
Jerry
up for
wants
it.
to
But
go. That's not
I
one
would love
thing.
that just to
Yeah.
see the elephants. So I have one little stuffed animal, and she's kind of this, it's a gund, I think Gund, gund, and she's sort of kind of the color of your chair, maybe a little
Oh,
more
green.
muted. Yeah, a little more
Green.
sagey green.
Uh-huh.
And I've decided she's a girl, and I call her Ellie Font.
Oh yeah.
So Ellie Font, Font,
Yeah.
Ellie Font, and she sits at my desk.
Nice.
She's
Very
Ellie Font.
cute.
So that
Yes.
would be what I would put on my school desk if I had one.
Yep.
Would
Yep.
be Ellie Font.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
So
a
that
great
was
book,
quite the tangent.
Ella jumps. And
Oh,
it's a jelly cat. It's a jelly cat.
yes. And
So
by the way, my store sells jelly cats. And
yeah,
on the weekends, we get packs of teenagers coming in and they just destroy the display. And
really.
and they're yeah, well, in terms of they just buy them.
Oh, because they're wanting new.
It's
Yeah,
a huge, and
those
some
jelly
of those
cats
jelly
are.
cats now are, I swear to you, Stacy, 70, $80. And
Oh
I'm not
wow.
talking big. I'm talking like these, depending on
No, I
how
know.
popular they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
My
I'm
granddaughter
like, where
has
are
a
these
couple.
kids getting that money? Well, their parents,
Yeah.
obviously. Maybe some work, but they're usually, if I could be, having been a school teacher, I would say probably 10th grade, 10th, 11th grade, they're obsessed. Boys and girls. It's not just
So funny. Well, and they do make the jelly cats they're not foo-foo or masculine. They're very neutral. Um,
yes, gender neutral for
you
sure.
know,
Well,
like
like the jelly
like
cat I got
you got the watering
got
can.
for
Yeah.
Bradley was the
Yeah.
watering can.
Yeah.
Mhm. And the
But
squishies, also the Nitos are really huge. And so they'll come in, we'll get Nitos on Friday and they're gone by noon. It's insane how they find out. How do you know that they came in?
I don't know unless they have somebody working there.
They could have somebody
They have
calling them.
somebody working and
And
saying,
we're
"Hey,
not allowed to buy them because they're afraid we're going to resell them
oh my gosh."
because they're
Well, they
$5.99.
don't trust their employees very much, do they?
They do not. Speaking of, I am one of those, and I don't think I have this influence, but you and I have talked about this. You and I are very strong personalities.
Yeah.
And when I go into work, I first thing I do is I pray that the light will shine through me, that when people meet me, they meet a woman of, Christian integrity who represents, who reflects and embodies all of the 9 characteristics of the fruit of the spirit.
Right.
And I say that every day before I walk in, or I try to.
Right.
And I used to think that meant, oh, surely that means everyone's going to love me. I'm going to
Mm.
have success. And there are days when I just feel pummeled. And there are days when I feel attacked and people immediately dislike me.
Yeah.
And even my management, like I think my management, for some reason, I have, and I hate to sound like this, like I'm always looking over my shoulder, I have a target on my back, but I am under a microscope.
Yeah.
They hold me at a much higher level of expectation than most of the other people in the store. There's a few others. And the other one is Estee Lauder. She's a pace setter because she's an amazing seller. And they don't understand why we're so successful, why we have this huge clientele, why people come just for us. If Renee's not in the store, they don't want to buy. If Anne's not in the store, they don't want to buy. And I think you and I were talking about it's because Anne and I understand how to sell,
Yes.
which is building relationship.
Yes.
Meeting the needs of the customer, not my needs, their needs.
Right.
And that creates somewhat bad will among my fellow associates. And I'm a manager, so it's harder because
Yes.
in some ways I'm in competition with them. So anytime I have a success, I always know if I have a big success within a day or two, I'm going to get called into the office because Renee did fill in the blank. Somebody told on me.
I think it's spirit, spirit to spirit. I think it's spirit to spirit. Like some people's spirit wants to just take us down a peg.
Yeah, they're repelled because they know.
They repel, but they also, just in case we think we're pretty good at what we do, they want to knock us down just a peg, just make sure they keep us in our place.
In our place, yes.
That happened. I had one of my recruiters when I was the director of admissions, which is sales, right? Like admissions.
You're selling the university.
Exactly. And one of my recruiters, like I would do, especially during COVID, we would do these because we were all
Zooms. Yep.
I would have great Zooms with her. And we could not see eye to eye because I was the kind of manager where give me what you'd like to do and how you'd like to do it, and I'll support you on it. I was not one that said, here's what you do, A, B, C, D. And he would say, like, it's your job. It's your job, Staci, to give me A, B, C, D. It's not my job to say what I'm going to do. And I'm like, but then you're never going to grow. You're never going to grow into your own person. It's your job to grow me. And I'm like, right. And we would fight back and forth.
Oh, I believe that.
Finally just throw my hands up. Like I give up. And I just think it was a spirit to spirit thing. Like his spirit just
didn't like yours. It's the old, I had a clinique boss that said, some people just don't like the way you button your coat and there's nothing you can do because they just don't like the way everything about you. But even yesterday, I think my store manager was, how do we resolve this? And I looked at her and I said, well, first of all, someone went behind my back and tattled. You've never told me who, what, or what they said. I said, so how do I resolve something? I don't even know what I'm trying to address. I said, you're giving me all these blanket things, and everything that the other person in the room was saying were things that had happened a half hour before. That is something that they've said to me before. And so I said, there is no resolution until I have all the information. Wow. And I think that's where sometimes we're small but mighty. And I feel like there are a lot of holes in the dike, the old Dutch boy where he kept putting his finger in the different holes. And I feel like they thought, this is a hole that we can put our finger through and that will absolutely save the entire store. And I'm just like, okay, first of all, this is an annoyance. It's not even a real thing. And second of all, if you think this is the problem in the store and I'm the problem, then you don't understand how to run a large business.
Store. Yeah, a big store.
And I don't have that kind of influence. I would love to, we talked about this. I would love to say that I do.
Yeah.
I would love to say that when I walk into the store, yes, it does. I can change the atmosphere as I'm walking through. I can't change people completely.
But you're an influencer without trying to be an influencer.
Yes.
And that probably in that generation bugs the crap out of them.
They don't know what to do with that.
People without doing it on purpose. And
right. And so if I go negative and don't even go negative, I say something realistic because I'm not a Pollyanna. I'm not going to blow smoke up somebody just because I'm supposed to be 100% positive. That's not effective. That doesn't create what you were saying with your boss. That doesn't create success.
No.
That just creates a calm on the surface. But beneath the surface, there are tons of ripples and riptides going on.
Right.
And so, that would be if we really went down definitely a rabbit hole right there. Yeah. But to me, it's kind of like if you don't address specifics, whatever that is in whatever your life, even with your children, with your spouse, with your friends, then you're dancing around the elephant in the room and you're not going to get any resolution.
Yeah.
And you're just going to upset people who you need on your team.
I mean, is there a time, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, I think there's a feeling and there's a physical feeling when things aren't right. Mm-hmm. And I 100%. Think we are self-aware enough that we tend to look internal at ourselves to say, what is this feeling? Why am I feeling it? What can I change to make it better? Some people only can look outside themselves and say that this feeling cannot possibly be me. So it has to be something that's happening outside of me. And they go searching for what it is. And I don't know that they have a specific, like there's just a
It can't be
feeling.
taught. I think you're right. That
Yeah,
looking,
just a
that,
feeling.
I think it's very biblical, the self accountability, because whenever something like this happens, I always own my share. And if not, I usually own more than my share because
Right.
I'll say,
I mean,
that's
Jerry always
fair.
tells me, stop apologizing. You've apologized enough.
Right. Right. Or stop owning more than what you know,
Exactly.
and sometimes it takes me a long time to sort of talk it out as I walk away and come home. And I realize what's upsetting me is that it's not that I didn't play a role in this, but it's that, wait a minute, why is it my problem when your problem is way bigger than Renee telling someone that we have returns and let's turn this around,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And it's also, we talked a little bit about this, like the expectation that we are always happy. Our faces always have to be happy in everything, in our families. And then they're like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. I can
I'm
see it on your
thoughtful.
face, Mom. I can see it on your face. And I'm like, I'm just not, and then I feel the responsibility to explain or to figure out, well, why is my face not happy? Okay, well,
Or
maybe
defend
and,
yourself for
and
something that
give
you
them an
didn't even
explanation.
do.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes I'm just chill. Sometimes, I don't want to just be happy. I'm happy. I have joy. I have
Mhm.
a general joy, but joy and happiness are two different things. I mean, I
And
have the joy of
contentment.
the Lord, and I do.
Mhm.
But sometimes, like I was thinking this morning, this stress of this move has has changed, hopefully temporarily, my character a little.
Mhm.
I mean, I had a situation yesterday where somebody was supposed to had wanted my deck furniture, and they wanted it. They wanted it, and another person wanted it, and it was my neighbor, and they said, no, we want it, we want it, we want it. This was back at the beginning of July. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll just leave it here until it's ready. So yesterday I'm like, hey, I'm ready for you to pick this up now. We need to get, and they're like, oh, we changed our mind.
And didn't say anything.
Well, not till then, not till I
Right.
said.
Would not have said anything at all. Maybe.
And so now I'm scrambling, like now I got to sell this stuff because I'm not taking that with me. And I saved it for them.
Mm.
Somebody else wanted it. So, of course, I get a little snarky.
Mm.
And that has bothered me, that I got a
That
little
you let that out.
snarky,
Mhm.
that I let that bug me so bad. And it has bugged me. I have reached out to the other people. They're coming Wednesday or Friday to get all the stuff. Like it's sold. I didn't even need to repost it. I had just reached out to, and it all worked out. But I'm still a little
Yeah.
mad. And that bugs me that I'm holding that.
Well, and you know what I would say to that, because this is similar to what we were talking about with me at work, is it's so much easier to be angry,
Mm-hmm.
snarky at
Mm-hmm.
something tiny like that
Yep.
than the bigger picture, which
I know.
is this is a lot. You have a lot on your plate. You just got
That's
back from a month-long, you
Yeah.
know,
Very
stint in
stressful.
France.
Yes, it was
You're
a
not
vacation.
moving to another part of the city. You are moving 4 states away, or
Yes.
however many. I haven't counted
Yes.
them in my
Yeah.
head. I think it's more.
Well, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Yeah.
Yep,
4 states.
four
I
states
mean,
away. And you're crossing all those borders and you're trying to figure out, even just last week, you're still not sure, what am I keeping? What am I selling? What
yes.
are we going to give to Goodwill? And so that is so nebulous. That is so much of this that you can't even pinpoint. So when you get something that truly in the big scheme of things is more an annoyance than anything else,
Yeah.
it's so much easier just to push all that rage,
Right
and
into
not
that
even
one
rage,
thing. Yep.
but all of that stress and discomfort all onto that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean your character is changing. It just means
Okay.
that was your outlet for a while. And it's going to take a while because
Yeah.
you're still going to be stressed
I'm going to be
because you're
stressed
moving
until
down
I
there.
get there and get the house unpacked. I said, somebody asked me, I don't remember, like, okay, so then what's Jordan going to do after that? And I go, we're going to get there. We're going to take a beat. Hopefully this house will just sell. It's, like our real estate agent's going to do what he needs to do and we'll sell the house. And I'm taking a beat.
Yeah.
And then we'll figure out like the next step. But I want to get like everything unpacked, everything in there and take a beat. And then I can go, because I mean,
And you don't have to jump into the next
yeah,
thing.
Jerry starts work the 12th. So I have him for a week to like, okay, we'll get everything unpacked. We'll get everything, done. He's, so, but that's a long time from that's a long time from now.
It is. And especially with
it's like,
days being so full. And
yes.
even before we went on live, you were talking about, well, we were going to leave Monday. Now it's going to be Sunday because why stick
And
around?
they don't know yet. My husband and my son don't know that I've made that decision.
Well,
So
I mean, you know what's going to happen once everything's in that U-Haul and you're standing around looking at an empty house. It's going to be their idea. Let's just go. Let's go.
I mean, yeah. Why are we staying?
Yeah,
Why
it'll
are
be
we,
as much their idea. Yeah,
yeah.
because I know both of them well enough to know they're not going to want to sit around in an empty house.
I mean,
Especially Jerry, especially your husband.
Yeah, because he was like, I said, well, the TV's leaving Wednesday and the couch is leaving Wednesday, so we'll have.
That's going to be 3 days of none of that.
Yeah, we'll have the computer. I mean, we can watch stuff on the computer. That's what my son and my daughter and son-in-law do. They don't even have a TV. They watch everything on the computer. So it's like,
I've seen at certain people's homes, I'm not going to say, they've got the big TV on, then they both have individual screens going. I'm like, how can you watch 3 things at once? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And we were even able to watch. So when we were over in Europe, we've been watching Outlander for years and years and years. And the last season is out, or is the last, but it's just out like episode by episode, and you have to get stars to get it and everything. We went to Europe and they had the whole last season on Netflix.
Oh, so you binged it?
Well, we watched it like on the hot afternoons when we could be in the air conditioning. We would go get in the air conditioning, snuggle up, watch an episode on my Kindle.
Oh yeah.
We downloaded it on the Kindle, and I mean, it was small,
I would need glasses, but
I did. But it was like
glasses.
But it was like, oh, okay, we got that. I mean, that worked out. So we'll be fine. There's plenty of things to do and plenty of things to watch and plenty of things to read, and we'll be fine for what?
But it'll
Thursday,
be
Thursday to
Sunday.
Thursday,
Friday, Saturday. It'll be, and then on
Saturday and Sunday don't count. We're going to be moving, and Monday.
I mean, I love bringing my computer because I'll watch it in the hotel room.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to be I'm driving. I mean, I'm driving fully the whole because Jerry's driving the truck.
Oh, so you're going to be
driving. And I might even drive the truck. I said, I think I can drive the truck, give him a break like on the Kansas.
I've done it. It's not a big deal. Just switch back and forth.
Yeah, I'll drive the truck.
Because they have those governors, so you can't go really fast. At least they used to. I don't know if they still do.
She said you can go the speed limit, which is what you should go anyway. And so we'll be going 70,
85,
75 on the interstate, on the big, I call it the Kansas Audubon. That turnpike is like crazy. Oh, it's crazy. So we'll be doing that, but I'll be driving the whole time. So I'm going to be exhausted. I mean, I'm going to need to rest and do that.
So give yourself a break it hasn't changed your character. It's just,
But
and it may be a while.
Speaking of driving, I'm gonna tangent this sucker.
Okay, let's do it. Tangent the heck out of it.
Poor mama. she's 91 and
Did you have to take her car away or her keys away?
well, we went, my brother was very insistent on getting this assessment done at Methodist Hospital. And they do, Methodist Hospital does an assessment where you can have a professional assess their driving. She didn't pass. And so I cried. I mean, I just cried.
I think that would be that's when independence that's being taken away from them
she wasn't even
becomes
driving
real.
that much. I mean, she drove basically, she had quit the Y. She didn't want to go to the Y anymore. She basically was going to church and Dollar General. And she never went. She'd have her little sayings. If it's snowing, I ain't going. If it's raining, I'm refraining. If it's windy, I'm staying Indy. I mean, we would make up these things. You know, she basically, it had to be perfect in the dark. No way. So it had to be perfect weather. And she would go to Dollar General right up the street but she had to pull out onto a highway to do it.
That's right, because it's that smaller town.
Well, if she could have driven in a bubble, I think everything would be fine, you know, if there were no other cars around. But the worry, like what she didn't pass, there were 4 elements. She got fair on the intelligence element. She passed that one because she is very intelligent. But she didn't pass multiple decision making and reaction time. She failed those 2. So they had to fail her. And she was just like, I failed. And I'm like, no, I mean, you did, but this isn't a failure. But we've decided that she's going to stay in her house. We're going to let her stay in her house and we'll just come, you know, my siblings will all take turns.
Because she's not, you know, because my mother-in-law, she was starting to fall and hit her head. And, you know, and she had one of those you know, I'm falling and I can't get up. And she would have to press it. The ambulance would have to come out. And it happened too many times and Mark was the one they called, and they would call Mark and say, do you want us to go get her? And she would not, she couldn't answer her phone. And then finally got to the point where you can't stay in your home anymore. And she would refuse. We tried to get her in-home care first, but she just, I don't need it. And when they do that, they come and assess and they lie, you know, like they'll ask them things such as write a sentence. And I remember my dad would put, you know, Johnny is a dog or Johnny is a boy. And that counts because it's a sentence. And then he was really unsteady on his feet and they'd say, I need you to stand and walk. Well, he would do everything he would show off. And we kept telling them, stop that, because now they had that extended care insurance. It wouldn't pay for it. They would pass just enough not to get the insurance. But we all knew it was dangerous. And then I think the last time she fell, she had to be taken to the hospital because she hit her head so hard. And that she went to an assisted living and she's never gone home.
Yeah.
And now Mark's cleaning out the house.
Okay. Well, yes. And we've told Mama we don't want her to get to that point. I don't think we're there yet. My little sister wants her at her house. I think I might have talked her into spending the winters in Austin. There's a direct flight from Omaha, and my little sister could bring her and then fly back, and then I could bring her back home and fly back. You know, like we could, and we'd have her for 2 months, so that would kind of give everybody here a break. Like we would take care of her for 2 months and everybody could just kind of take a breather. And then I think what we're going to talk about this on Friday, but I think what we're going to do is then kind of fix up the house while she's gone, like redo the bathroom a little bit, you know, just there's some foundation stuff that I think needs to be looked at. Well, she can't be there while all that's happening. So that would be a good time to get all of that fixed up.
And a good excuse to get her out.
Yeah. So we're going to work it. I mean, we're going to meet with her. She hasn't, you know, she was like, do I need to give you my keys? I said, absolutely not, Mom. I trust you.
We had to take Dee's keys.
I don't trust. Yeah. I trust you that if you are told you're not going to drive, you won't drive. And she goes, I won't drive. And I said, I know, I trust you. She's not mentally incapable at all. Like she is kind of an anomaly. I mean,
yeah, because most, like my mother-in-law, her pride was so strong that and as my brother-in-law always says, he goes, and then the lies set in because she was so proud. And this is a very faithful Christian, small
Oh,
town,
yeah. But
church-going woman,
age can,
never drank a sip of alcohol. And she's even 93, I think, or something. And
mm,
she's still very cognizant. Well, we're starting to see some,
yeah,
but she knew better. And she knew if she told the boys the truth, they would have had her in that Rotary Inn way ahead of time.
yeah, yeah.
And she was but then she wouldn't eat. She wouldn't get out. She couldn't get out of the chair. And so, but your mom's not there yet. And it
She's
can
not.
happen fast.
It does.
That's the
I
thing.
think we need to. I think we need to keep an eye on it.
I honor.
He goes every 6 months for med checks, and her doctor is fabulous. And she sat with. I went to the appointment. She was in there for 45 minutes with us, which is unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot
Usually
of
you get the bums rush.
and she sat in there so patient and yeah. So she said, I agree with the assessment. This was before the assessment. I agree with the assessment. I agree with that Stacy's taken over all the finance. Everything is automated. She doesn't have to write any monthly checks anymore. So she said, I agree with all of that. I agree with, so she was like, I think your kids are really taking good care of you, and we'll just reassess every 6 months. We'll just see, can you, and my mom was like, okay, but I get to stay in my house, right? And we're like, yeah, for now. Yeah. And then we'll reassess.
That's the hardest thing is taking them out of the house.
Well, she said,
for people like your mom and my
nobody
mother-in-law.
wants to leave their house.
Right.
She said, too late. She's never seen anybody go, okay, let's go. It's like they don't want to.
You know what? I think it's because Mark has moved us so much. I am so ready to get to a place like the Villages or, like a Del Webb, where there's levels where you're in your own home, then you're in an apartment in the assisted living.
Yeah.
I am so on board because I'm going to be doing all those daggum activities. I'm going to be pickleballing it. I'm going to be playing cards. I'm going to be doing mahjong. I am going to be doing
mahjong. Have you played mahjong?
No, but remember we talked about it during, I don't have time.
You don't have time.
I cannot wait until
I think Hannah and I are we're going to start a league.
Until I can retire. I don't even know how to play until I can retire. And that's not happening anytime soon because of my medicine. That's why I'm there is my private insurance. I'm on Eliquis, which is this elegant, amazing blood thinner.
Okay.
And it has almost no side effects.
Nice.
And it is almost a miracle drug. And with my private insurance and a coupon, I paid $10 a month.
That's crazy.
Without any, it's like $1,600. And my friend just got on Eliquis. She lives in, Las Cruces, New Mexico. And she was put on Eliquis with she's on Medicare. She's 66, 67. And with even her extra prescription, it's $400 a month. And so now her husband goes to Mexico to get her Eliquis. He crosses the border, goes to Mexico, and then she goes, so Renee, do you want me to get you some too? Do you want me to get you some?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, Donna, I think that might be illegal. I said, I don't think
I think she can do what she wants, right? I mean, there's nobody to say if she has the prescription.
She has a prescription. He can go down and
get it wherever she wants.
But he can't just go, I need this filled, this one filled. That's when it becomes drug dealing. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to turn your husband into a drug dealer. And plus, I'm paying $10 a month. I'm fine. But the day I quit my job, now, I'm paying $400 or $500, probably closer to $600-700 a month.
A trip to Mexico every year, or every 6 months or something to get your supply.
I'll be on Cobra for a year, and then I can go to Mexico and 100%. Yeah, I'll come down there and then just drive. From there.
Yeah.
Cross the border, go get my drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, we've just chased about every tangent possible. Tell me about your book. How's it
romper. I was going to tell you the romper story.
Tell me about your rompers.
So we went it's a linen romper, and it's long. We were in Holbox. It's Holbox, Mexico. Okay. It's a little island north of Cancun. You
Okay.
you actually have to get to the island by boat. You drive to the island from the Cancun airport. Terrible drive, bumpy, and it's terrible. But they take you there, and then you get on a boat, and you cross over to this little island. And there's no cars on the island. The island is basically a
Ooh,
sand.
like Mackinac. Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
So all of the taxis and stuff are ATVs.
Oh my
He got
gosh.
in the ATV and he said, he told Riley, have everybody put their feet up. And Riley goes, did I misunderstand? Because she was speaking Spanish for us, did I misunderstand? He goes, no, everybody put their feet up because you go through water
Oh,
to get down the street.
Fred Flintstone.
It was total Fred Flintstone. So the water comes up. We're like, oh, good thing we have our feet up. Well, we went to this little boutique. We stayed at this boutique hotel that only had 13 rooms.
Oh,
And the front desk people wore these. This was their uniform. And I said, those are so cute. And she goes, oh, it's a designer in town that designs these and gives, we buy them from her. But if you go in and tell her that you're staying at our hotel, she'll give you 10% off. And I'm like, okay. So I went in, told her I was staying, and she goes, oh, okay. They had all these different colors, and I bought one. And I was like, isn't this the cute? It was only $90, which is not.
well,
That, for a
it looks like Free
designer.
People. If you were going to buy Free People, you're talking about twice that much.
Yeah. And so anyway, so that's my little romper that I wear. And it's linen, it's lightweight, it's really
It's adorable.
fun.
I love the color.
Thank
You picked a good color.
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Yeah, I like this color. So anyway, okay, so that's that story.
It's
So
one of my
let's like zoom over to the book.
Big pivot.
I have been right. I've done my 500 words or so a day. I've been doing I didn't do the weekend. I took the weekend off, but so I've
That's
done
okay.
it like 4 or 5 times. And really, yeah, I'm really delving into the twin relationship for some reason.
Well, I could inform
I
any of that
know.
since I have a twin.
Did you guys have a signal? So I have them. They had a signal where they would take each other's faces and then touch foreheads, and it would calm them both, and they just knew, like they called it.
Are they identical?
No,
Because we weren't identical.
Completely opposite. One's blonde, one's darker hair, nope, they're completely opposite, but they would have this signal. And
we were in the same room, and we had to share a room. We were like that. But once we got separate rooms in our home, once my brothers went off to college, that was when we started having our own identity. And I mean, remember, my sister is she was a swimmer, super athletic, very sporto, very granola. And I mean, I remember loving even as a little girl, going to pre-kindergarten, loving wearing dresses with big bows and my patent leather shoes. So we were inherently different from the beginning. Right. So when we separated rooms, that sort of severed all of that.
Yeah, anything that you did have was kind of
was when we were younger, right? Mm-hmm. But that wasn't until maybe 4th, 5th grade. So before that, we would have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you know about your heart condition? You didn't find out until you were an adult, right? Right when we were friends.
Yeah, way back. I didn't know until we came
to Lincoln, because you did it at the Knee Center, right?
Back to Lincoln, yes. Remember that was the thyroid stuff. Yeah, we didn't know. I just went because we were going to get life insurance for me, and we found out
like maybe when you were like
45.
45. Okay.
45.
Yeah, so we
I remember it being
together. Yeah. Because I remember going like, how would you not know about this? And I remember you saying that you had to do it. It had to be, it was considered a pediatric condition because
it's congenital. I was born with it. And
you didn't know.
And my father is a cardiologist, was heart. And so that was like the big joke, is that it was like the plumber that always has the toilets that don't work.
Or the kid, the cobbler whose kids don't have shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Cardiologist.
But my sister had really bad asthma, like go to the hospital as kids. Okay. So I think whatever my condition was so minor compared to, because hers was so immediate. And so she was always the one that got all the attention. There was no room for me to be sick. So even if I was sick, I had to grin and bear it. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Okay.
delving
Well,
into the twin, I think, plus they were in somewhat of a traumatic experience from a young age.
for
So
sure.
that would bond them more
And
so than just living.
yes. And so what the premise I'm leaning towards and what it's looking like it's developing into is, you know, they're apart, and then when they come back together, you know, they're healing together in different ways, but they're heal, you know.
And that's very plausible because, like, when I had not seen my sister for years, it was college, I was newly married. We came to my grandmother's funeral and we were wearing the exact same outfit.
Yeah.
So
So there's
that connection, yes.
there's a twin thing.
Mhm.
And I also have a friend who gave me a phone number of a jungle missionary kid
Mm.
that's here. I mean, she's not a kid anymore. She's an adult that I can reach out to. And I said, I'm gonna wait until I get settled in Austin before I kind of
Reach out and start
research
that.
that. But she said she has a lot of insight on living in the jungle as a missionary kid. So I thought, you know, I might get some detail. Like that's more like detail things, I think, right? Like we start.
Okay, well, yes and no. Here's what I'm going to
Okay.
tell you.
Okay.
Yes and no. Yes, it will absolutely inform all the details of your story. But what I've discovered, because I write mostly historical,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
or like when I had the opera singer, if you start learning enough about who they are and enough about their trade or their gift or living in a jungle, the story will start to come out of that as well, because there will be pieces of what it's like to live there that you had not thought about,
Okay.
that will create scenes and change your character even. So don't wait too long, because you may end up having to go back.
Yeah.
I have found, if I do, and there's a fine line, you can over research and then you get paralyzed. But if you do enough research, your story starts to come out of and your characters start to come out of the research.
Okay.
That's when it's very organic.
Okay.
So don't leave it until you've written half the book and then you go talk to her, because that
No,
may,
I won't.
yeah. So
Because
it is
I'm just
so
going
it's
to
a
wait till
yes
I
and
get to
no.
Austin,
Yeah.
and can kind of take my beat like I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then I'll reach out to her. Probably, you know, when the baby
But you're
starts.
right on the right track, because it's such every story. I always say two things to new writers. There's two things you always want to keep in mind. The first one is plot comes from character. So the more you know your characters, the easier and the stronger your plot will be.
Okay.
So plot comes from character. And the other one, it can seem super confusing, but it has changed how I write. The scene is never about what the scene is about. So every scene you're writing, it's never about what the scene is about.
Mm.
So if you have them in a scene in the jungle, it's everything that is happening below the surface is what that scene is about. I always say, when people meet, like when you're writing a romance and you have them meet in a bar, that doesn't give you enough information to get a really good scene. It needs to be about, she's there, she's a detective there to investigate the owner, and oops, it happens to be the hero's brother, and the hero is there for
Mm.
a separate reason. The scene is not about the two characters meeting, although it feels like it's about the meet. The scene is about that heroine is there. Why is she really there? That heroine is there to investigate a murder, or to investigate an illegal dealings, or
Okay.
drugs or whatever coming out of that. So that's what the scene is about. The fact that she meets this guy becomes the surface of everything, but you're really what's going on underneath. Now, he doesn't just trust her because he may know there's something not right about her. So you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
whenever you're writing scenes, remember, there needs to be 3, 4 reasons what's going underneath. It's layers. The deeper you go for that scene, the stronger it's going to be. And so the scene's never about the scene. So even when your one heroine is kidnapped, That's not what it's about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on the surface. The scene is about what's happened. Why did this guy get here? Why was she kidnapped? What brought that? How did the father miss it? How did the mother miss it? What's the sister doing? It's not just about her getting kidnapped.
Okay.
Makes sense?
So I could, yeah. So
The scene is never about what the scene is about.
so I'm going to say I might try to engage in the kidnapping day.
Yes.
In the
And
kidnapping
just to
day.
see,
And
yes,
just
all
and
that
to
leads up
see,
to
yeah,
the
and everything
kidnapping,
that led up to it.
the climax of that scene. It's not what the scene is about.
Okay.
And so when you read a book,
Yeah, because they lost their
and
mother and they're leaving the jungle. So I think there
right.
was a lot of activity going on.
So yes, study books that have engaged you. And when you're reading a book like that, start going, what's going on underneath all this? The scene. And if you read a story that feels super flat or super cardboard, it's
Yeah.
because it's just way too face value. It's way too up here. It's kind of like
Okay.
you want to think of a duck. This is the surface. The duck's little legs are just spinning
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
That's what the story is about.
Okay. I'm gonna try to
Try to kind of think about that as you go forward.
tackle
That's
the kidnapping.
doesn't matter what I'm teaching and workshop I'm teaching. I always leave my the people in the workshop with that as their final. If you remember nothing, remember those two things.
Okay.
Plot comes out of character. Scene's never about what the scene is about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to, I'm
Moving forward.
Kidnapping day. I'm going to see,
And your research will help that as well.
right. Because if I talk to somebody who's actually been in the jungle and, I'm thinking this way or that way or the other, and she's like, no, that's not, I mean, she was in the jungle of Peru. This
Okay.
woman. So it's going to be perfect because that's the jungle that I'm thinking of.
Right.
So she'll be able to kind of give me some insights on the jungle itself and the experience of being a missionary kid. And I think she had a good experience. I mean, I don't think it was a traumatic experience for her. Obviously, she wasn't kidnapped, by the tribe. So I don't know what the whole story is going to be there. And of course, I'm not there to use that story, right? Like I'm just there to get like maybe some feelings.
Right.
And some.
Because, like if you remember in my scene where Elsa meets Wilhelm in the Secret Society of Salzburg.
Yeah.
That wasn't about the meeting. It was foreshadowing how he was going to control her from from that moment on.
Yeah.
How he chose her so he could groom her.
Yeah.
And that was what that scene was really about. So just think about that.
Yeah, I will.
As you're going forward. And that's somewhat of advanced writing, but I think if you're thinking about that, it will help. Yeah. You looking at time? Yeah, we're way over time.
Without my glasses on. I don't know why I'm doing that.
Yeah, we're way over time. So
we need to go.
But we had fun. We went down a lot of tangents.
We did a lot of tangents, and I like the and I like the little thing. The one last thing I want to leave it like Substack. Should I be posting? I've been posting should I be posting anything about my story or no? Not yet.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't just because, don't let AI get a hold of it. Don't let,
okay.
Because, I'm in the middle of that. I'm one of the many authors that are in the middle of that Anthropic class action lawsuit against Claude.
Yeah.
So it's just best not to put anything out there until
I'm ready.
It's published.
Yeah.
Just,
okay.
I have friends that are very, very close to the chess stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds perfect.
All right. So next week, same time, are you going to be in Austin or do we need to skip a week? Would you rather skip a week?
My gut is, because I'm going to be traveling on Tuesday. And by the time I so my gut is saying we do the 11th.
Yeah. Let's just take the week off.
Because I think by the 11th I'll be there. I'll be in, even though, I'll have the baby. We might have to do it a little earlier before
That's
I go
fine.
get the baby, but or maybe
so let's push it to the 11th, and then we will just keep going forward, and we'll talk about what happens next.
Okay, podcast 20.
And I have been writing too, not a lot, not as much as you.
So I'm gonna be interested to hear. I'm just gonna put it as 9 a.m.
And then if you need to go earlier, just text me.
Okay.
or
That sounds
email,
good.
whatever.
That sounds like
We're good
Olivia.
about that. And
Yeah.
hey, happy travels, safe travels,
Yes. Thank
and
you.
good luck with the sale of the house. If anybody wants a house in Lincoln, Nebraska, yours is
Yes,
amazing.
1304 Olivia Drive. Yeah, I put it out
Yeah.
there. It's out there anyway. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's do
Yeah.
it. Buy
Well, you're
this
gonna be
sucker.
gone anyway. So yeah. And you've got a former FBI agent.
Yeah,
You've got people in the house that
I'm
can take
fine.
care of you.
Yeah. All right. All right. See you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.